Hello everybody, welcome into The Closet Door, an Atome game by Tough Mallow Interactive. They got in touch with me a little while ago, asking if I'd cover it. I said sure. You can play it for free right now. It's only in a demo state, but it's pretty comprehensive from what I saw. There's over, I think, 34,000 words right now, and it has a set release date. Well, not set, I guess. It's a projected release date of fall of this year. So let's just get right into it, shall we? Let's just start the game. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Mouse out of the way. No. Chairpersons. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Yes, much better. Now again with conviction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Perfect. Wait, where the heck? No, focus. Focus. I will be leading this presentation today. It's my pleasure to be here with each of you. Oh my goodness. Can't understand where I could have lost them. This is no good. No focus. I just need to remind myself. I am a success story. I'm a powerhouse. I'm the pride of my company with 2 Fortune 750 interviews under my belt and I can't find my shoes. What on earth? This is ridiculous. What's the point of being so accomplished if I can't do simple things like find my shoes? Oops. Full screen out. That didn't break anything. No, it didn't. Okay. Or keep a boyfriend or friends, and even family won't call anymore. No time to focus on useless sentiments. The meeting. Focus on the meeting. Whoops. Keeping it. Yeah, is there a log button? Ha. I admittedly let things get to me. I couldn't help it. Okay. I mean, I was crawling around on the floor looking for a stupid pair of missing shoes. My 4th pair of missing shoes, to be exact. I had a meeting this morning, actually a proposal. The proposal. The merger between my company and the competitor we've been pining for rested on my skills. Lots of top dollar corporations wanted my closing skills. My employers were lucky enough to have them. And of course, I intended to show up early today and wow them as I always did. If only I could... Now I couldn't have been this clumsy. Is the cleaning lady possibly stealing them? What's her name? Ugh, I'd fire her 10 times over. She already doesn't do a good job with the kitchen. She thinks I don't notice just because I rarely use it. I do, but no, I watch her closely enough. She couldn't have taken this last pair, even if she did surprisingly become clever either. I just bought them yesterday. She's not due until tomorrow. Oh, my assistant. Oh, I forgot I fired him 2 weeks ago. He couldn't keep up with me anyway. Doubt he could even kept up with my shoes, even without me in them. Well, then again, some could be said of me today, couldn't it? Whatever. I'm not buying another pair. They have to be in here somewhere. I think I feel something. So let me just reach back just a little more. Wait, what the? What is this hole in my closet floor? A light? Wait, no, something's pulling me. Somebody help, stop, somebody help me, help. And that's how it happened. What a crazy morning. I was so busy complaining and being sure of myself, to be honest. If I could see it coming, I wouldn't have noticed. Till then, my world was big. I've been all over it. I've seen things most people only dreamed of. I built a name for myself, I had it all. The expensive car, the luxury condo, the best restaurants and travel. I made it. You know the drill. You know, I thought I knew my life. Until it changed in a way I could have never expected. I wonder, you know, I was different. Would this have even happened? Or was destiny reaching out for my hand, even if I hadn't reached out and accidentally grabbed it myself? What in the... Place looks like nothing. At least I'm not falling anymore. Did I even land? Wait, this place looks like nothing. Where am I? Am I nowhere? Am I dead? Okay, Faun, don't panic. Maybe a fallen shoebox at you in the head or something. Stress, assess. I looked around for at least a minute in every direction in the murky silence, or at least I think I did. Time seemed warped, or I wasn't processing things clearly. I didn't know which. Fog was everywhere, weird, colorful, ominous fog. Not only was it too thick to see past, but it felt difficult to breathe. Hello? Hello? Hey! I was beginning to really lose track of time. I hadn't been standing in the spot long, had I? It seemed like forever, and I was beginning to feel so heavy. There was another feeling creeping up within me. It was familiar, but I pushed it back immediately. I didn't want to wander around aimlessly in fog, and I didn't want to keep screaming out into nothingness. It just had to be a bad dream. I'd obviously hit my head on the closet. On what, I did not know. I attempted to rationalize. I mean, I'd hurt myself in that cramped little space before. One time I was trying to get my old presentation notes from my high shelf and ended up spraining my ankle. But this was a doozy. I'd never been knocked unconscious before. I just need to wake up. I had work. I had responsibilities. But what doesn't make sense is how tired I am in this dream. I feel so very heavy. I sat down on the ground. My eyes began to flutter. What a strange... You left it open? Well, that's all you can say? I don't think the earthling came through. I just saw the hand reaching out. But what if it did? I thought I heard a voice. I'd appreciate if you two would refrain from bickering. We should return as previously scheduled. I wanted to wake up, but it looked as if I couldn't even fall asleep in my dreams. I thought I heard voices. I stood looking around me. I would just go where I heard them. The air around me was even more dense than it was before, and I felt myself stumble. I wasn't aware I was walking. My legs had a mind of their own. Right then, they tangled over themselves. I lost balance as they caved under me. I almost fell. I almost fell? I got you. You touched it? I'm not worried. Octavius, besides, their earthling is soft. Don't touch it, it might contaminate you. I might contaminate? I was sure I heard something, but I could barely see now, and the air was so heavy. I just needed to sleep so I could wake from this dream. And this is all very interesting. Aaron, did you release an earthling into our realm? I may have. Anyway, Levy, the earthling is breathing. Funny. Listen to me, Aaron. We need to put it back. It is a she, an earthling girl. Don't you? Didn't put her back. I don't think we can right now. And why not? Don't tell me the gate closed on its own. I believe the gate is closed. How can that be? What of this earthling? I think she will perish like this. No, I don't want that. Well, this is a fine mess, Levy. Is there any way to reverse this so we can send her back? The death from an earthling here is a horrendous omen, and during the trials even more so. Just imagine the implications. The earthling will have to choose her on her own. Are you serious? Levy, are you sure? I heard myself coughing. It was a surreal experience. I was aware it was happening, but I felt detached. Were my eyes open? I wasn't sure anymore. Nonetheless, I tried closing them. Hey, earthling, don't go to sleep. I could barely keep up with these figures' voices. I heard something about not sleeping, and it caught my attention. Earthling, please listen. Don't fall asleep. Fine. Get this over with. Did you hear that? Wake. You have to make the choice. I don't think you understand, Octavius. What's not to understand? Earthling, wake. Choose and go home. I felt hands on my shoulders shaking me around like a rag doll. Suddenly a wave of consciousness flowed over me. I heard a voice and saw 3 faces, it seemed like for the first time. Huh? Earthling, you haven't much time. Make a choice and go home. Make a choice. Pick a name and you can go home. I don't understand. Pick a name, what? Yes, one of our names. Levy, Aaron, Octavius, pick one. Octavius? What? I want to be done with this mess before the council and the elder finds out. You don't understand what it is. I know she is an earthling, and she doesn't belong here. She goes home now. You are saying? Levy, I don't think we have a choice here. The earthling is growing cool. Just as he was saying this, the air became unbearable, and I found sleep prickling at the edges of my mind again. No, don't sleep. Earthling, choose now. Hands violently shook me. I felt it, and yet still, somehow, I felt more tired than anything. I just wanted sleep to come, so I said a name. Ooh, do we like Levy, Aaron, or Octavius? Aaron's kind of like the young guy. Levy's like the more serious guy. Octavius seems kind of hot-headed. I'm kind of liking Levy, to be honest. I always like those kind of guys in these games. Levy? I spoke a name. Or slurred it. I wasn't sure. I heard murmurs around me. For some reason, unbeknownst to me, I could feel the wetness of tears on my face. But sleep finally came, and I welcomed it willingly. Chapter 1. A Medicated. So they have, I assume, their own unique chapters. Stories, you know how it goes. Ugh, what a horrible dream. I need to get up. I need to open my eyes, but they feel heavy. Wait, let me prop you up. You need to drink this. Woman's voice? Drink what? Who are you? Oh, it took quite a fall. You need to heal. Drink, it will help. I can't open my eyes yet. Did I go blind? What happened? I know you must be anxious. When Levy found you, you were in a poor state. I moved to touch my face. I thought maybe I could see something. I waved my hand in front of my face. It was disappointing. Still couldn't make out if I was seeing anything or not. No, stop moving so much. If you continue like this... Huh? They must mean the heavy breathing. Fine, then. Which hospital I'm in? Did you find any medical insurance card? If not, that's fine. I just have my assistant... Oh, damn it, I haven't replaced that useless nincompoop yet. Please. I felt something warm touch my lips. Fragrant and almost fruity liquid. I drank as I was bid. It was pleasant. Not bad for medicine for once. My mind was still a bit fuzzy, or I would have demanded to know exactly who found me in my condo. I would have asked which hospital I'd been taken and how much this would cost my insurance, and most importantly, I would demand to know how soon before I would be released with the golden okay to return to work. I sighed audibly. This was fine, too. I knew how to roll with the punches, as they say. I tried relaxing. I had a new plan. I'd bide my time. Maybe this was stress from taking on the project proposal for the company manager myself. Joshua in sales was no match to handle my workload. The company with big wigs would just hold off the conference anyway. Now, they'd done it before. I was their deal bargainer, their money maker. They wouldn't move forward without me. And now, with me being hospitalized, my request for breaking the project into 3 proposals would have to be taken into consideration. Ah, yes, things always worked in my favor in the end. Like everything else, it was manageable, completely within my control. I wanted to laugh, but my lungs still felt very heavy. Instead, feeling the medicine had kicked in, I let the wave of sleep take me over again. I'll be fine. I'm to take full responsibility. As you deem fit, Levy. My head felt woozy, but it was certainly easier to breathe. My eyes fluttered, though I'd appear to slowly register even with them open. Consciousness was slowly ebbing towards me. In my fogginess, I could hear voices speaking in hushed tones as if not to wake me. I assumed the hospital staff knew I would wake soon. As light slowly became color, I mentally prepared myself for the exchange about to take place. I hated talking to doctors, but, well, the sooner the better. I wasn't close to any family members and really no friends. Maybe I don't have it all. There was no one to handle my medical emergencies other than me. Listen, I wasn't complaining. Just convenient dealing with this, well, inconvenient. My vision was becoming clear, but what I was seeing was not. I took a good look around the room. I was still behind medication from earlier. Hello? Hello? The dose was too strong. Do not follow. She hasn't fully recovered. I can still see mist in her eyes. The medication, doctor, whatever it was the nurse gave me was too strong. I'm hallucinating. Willow, did you add sunberry honey to the medicine? Aaron, I'm not an idiot. I know, just teasing. What's wrong with me? Why does everything look so strange? Just a moment, try to relax. Your body's still weak. Hey, I remember your voice in my sleep. What a fine mess this will be to explain. I resent you both right now, I hope you know. Okay, who is this guy? What does he resent? Am I imagining them talking too? Wait, everything might look strange, but there are a lot of people in this room. I wasn't prone to panic, and all things considered, I was handling my current situation quite well. Please don't be angry, Octavius. We didn't intend for her to fall through. I didn't. Your headstrong and head-first shenanigans should not have been encouraged by Levy to begin with. And you, Levy, taking responsibility may prove to be an even worse decision for you, if not all of us. I do aim to rectify the situation. At this time, we must refrain from disunity. Restoration should now be our focus of discord. There really is no arguing with you, is there? Hey you there, the tall one. Are you the doctor? Pardon? Yes, you. I'm right here. I can hear you guys going on. And really, the only thing you're saying that's making any sense is taking responsibility. I assume you mean for me. You are correct. I'm directly responsible for your welfare at this time. Okay, then I need you to understand that I am confused and need explanation. But maybe after these drugs were off. Drugs? You may be using a term for medication. Don't look at me. Nothing I've given her will do more than heal. Curious. Everyone was standing around the room and chatting as if I wasn't propped up on a cot, doped out of my mind, and still undiagnosed. I was losing my patience. Let him have it. Curious? Oh, I was definitely gonna let them have it. What kind of hospital were they running here? More like a comedy show. I refused to be part of this main act. Well, you stated your symptoms. I know what I said. I would think, however, if you think I'm an interesting medical case, you'd have the decency to keep that to yourself. At least until you're in a meeting or a break room or whatever, not in front of the patient. The three men in the room were visibly taken aback. Felt a little strange. I was much more angry than I wanted to be. I meant what I said, but did I need to yell it? I also felt extremely tired all of a sudden. That is the darkness speaking through you. We aren't your enemies. Maybe take a deep breath and tell us what you're seeing. We'll listen. Her voice was soothing and maternal. I couldn't help but feel her words were genuine. I nodded and turned back towards the tall one who was watching me cautiously. Yeah, you can do that. I pushed back the heavy feeling that was creeping into my chest. Anyway, everyone here and everything around me looks weird. Continue? I mean, really weird. That woman over there looks like a beady-eyed tree. You know, like the ones with the eyes you can buy at the supply store and it looks like they're following you around. He looks like a robed fairy with black and white hair, like some angry magic referee. That guy over there looks like a 1970s telenovela star, but with a bad hair dye job. And you look like a pro ice skater who joined the cotton candy military. And this whole hospital room looks like a fairy tale book threw up on it. Exactly, I'm obviously seeing everything through these crazy psychedelic colored glasses. She said I looked like a fairy. What? Everyone around me looked as though harshly hit by my words. But I mean, when someone is seeing things, you can't really take it personally. The silence of this room, however, was a little unnerving. The doctor looked at me as if I were the most curious thing he'd ever seen. Your description of your surroundings are obviously heavily influenced by your previous knowledge and experiences. Yet, however unfavorable they may seem, they are accurate. So maybe I was experiencing audio hallucinations too. Excuse me, maybe you misheard me. I said I did not. The precision in which he cut me off was surgical. I was almost taken aback. As I opened my mouth, however, I found my rebuttal would have to wait. A sudden coughing fit took me over, and breathing was instantly difficult. Dr. Levy's eyes widened as Will had rushed to my side. We stared at each other. Between gasping for air, I began to take notice of the source of everyone's shock. Every time I coughed, a billow of gray smoke escaped into the air. That's not normal. What is this? My eyes widened. This was frightening at best. The room was full of tension, and now something like a memory pin pricked at my mind. Please, try and drink this. I recognized the smell of the liquid. It was the same as before, fragrant and fruity. Desperate to stop choking, I attempted sipping it as she held the cup to my quivering lips. Instantly, the warmth flowed back into me. Until then, I didn't realize I was so cold. Moments were like eternity as my breathing slowly became stable. In that space of time that felt endless, memories slammed back in my mind like a harsh slap to the face. I'd been in my closet looking for shoes. There was a hole, and I kept growing. I fell in. I fell for a long time, and then darkness became color and smoke. No mist. And I landed on solid ground, but I couldn't breathe. And I remembered voices. Will interrupted my revelation. I understand nothing seems familiar here. Your mind is not playing tricks on you. You've been through quite an ordeal. I'm not in a hospital. She shook her head at me apologetically. Where am I really? A place called Myst. Oh, I love Myst. Those games are awesome. This is dire. We will alert the elder and the council at once. Not another moment of delay. Come, Aaron. As he turned to leave, Aaron lingered behind, reluctant to move. I have to. I could just... Weak finding out will be the least of your worries if you leave me to face relaying this news to the council alone. The guy's glare was brutal. Aaron sucked in his face and followed Octavius out of the room. Each step he took looked as if it hurt him. Levy pulled my attention away from their interaction. I apologize for this. It's because of my error that you are here. Where is here? You are in a realm that coexists alongside your own, the land of mist. I tried to prop myself up, but I just didn't have the strength. Will placed a hand over my forehead, and her face brittled with concern. So I'm here in a weird realm. Somehow it's your fault. This is what I'm hearing so far? Yes. How do I get back? And why do I feel like this? What was that smoke? I was trying to keep a level head. I was still unsure I wasn't just crazy. But right now I didn't have the energy to entertain anything that would not lead to a solution. Being nuts was not a solution. We are alerting the council. As for your sickness... Wait, before that. Will and Levy both peered at me curiously as I interrupted him yet again. You said you're the reason I'm here. Well, yes, I opened the gate by which you fell through. Well, my point is, if you opened the gate, or whatever, if you brought me here, then why don't you open it again and send me home? Well, look to Levy also. Apparently I'd asked a good question. I cannot. The gate should not have been allowed for you to come through to begin with. I am not sure I can create a gate that could return you without harm. Oh, she really has been through so much. Levy looked away quickly at that. Something seemed off about it. Confirm my suspicious behavior. I sat up, my head spinning as I did so. Fighting the nausea, I addressed Levy's behavior. Look, I'm obviously handling this well, better than anyone I know would. You basically told me I fell through a hole in my reality, and now I'm in Magic Land. Not to mention, you admitted it's your fault. You didn't turn around or meet my eye. My point is this. I know something else is up. Levy's very reliable, and you don't need to worry. And I've been in the business world far too long to know when something has been left out. I cut my eyes at Levy. I knew I was right. What is it exactly that you weren't saying? Levy did not turn towards me, and his answer did not put me at ease either. Because you were in such a poor condition when we found you. We invoked the binding of names. Your fate is bound to my name, thus even if I knew how to send you home, it is not in my ability to do so. His tone did not change, but I was sure I heard him swallow hard. Will removed her hand, which was rested on my shoulder, and snatched Levy's wrist. Her eyes were fire, and she screamed in a shrill voice towards Levy, who seemed unaffected by her tone. Do you have any idea what you've just done? It was the most feasible solution at the time. At this time, we can only wait for the solution from the council. I'm sure nothing more can be done. You children really are foolish, you know that? I can assure you I'm keeping in mind the most reliable and dependable resolution. Reliable, you say. I closed my eyes again. Fogginess I've been fighting since my coughing fit was winning out. My current situation, my physical weakness, was real to me. I can only hope resting here was a safe bet. My mind was full of questions and uncertainty. I wasn't clear about where I was or if I could even go home, even with the condition of my current health. But I was clear of one thing. Depending on this guy was the last thing I wanted to do. Again, they found me. Do we let her sleep? Absolutely not. The council is holding an emergency hearing. This should be dealt with immediately. Think of the trials. There is the concern of travel. She cannot do so by portal. Then she'll have to walk. Wow, I don't think I've walked from here to the Great Hall in a long time. Stirs. I sat up groggily. I acknowledged all of the strange and yet familiar faces in the room. I was tired, but I felt better for having slept. The whole gang is back? Hello, Faun. Yes, everyone has returned. If I can assume someone is going to finally make this crazy situation make sense to me, a quick rundown, if you will, would be really nice. Aaron spoke up quickly. We made a mistake and you fell from Sister Earth into mist. Yeah, you said that part. And when we found you, you went unconscious because you inhaled dark mist. It isn't good for you. Dark mist? Now this part is new. Was this the gray stuff I coughed up not too long ago? And we were discussing the best course of action because Levy didn't want to make any mistakes after you chose his name in binding. Everyone was staring at Aaron with wide eyes at this point. I don't think he noticed eyes imploring him to silence. And maybe we took too long to move you from there because for a while it seemed like you wouldn't wake up. The will gave you medicine to make the dark mist cough up, so you'll get better, but the council's still very upset. And now we have to get you there for an emergency meeting so you can go home. I was speechless. So was everyone else. Arna summed up the answers to my questions quite nicely, though there was one thing that was bothering me. Thank you, Arn, was it? But I have a new question now. I turned to Levy. Seemed fine that I almost died. We must leave immediately for the Great Hall hearing. At this time, we are not clear about the best form of travel. Did he just ignore me? Mortal travel is not optional, and your body is still too weak. I'm afraid you will not make the journey. Fine, I will carry her there. Oh, dang it, I should have offered first. Wait, what? Willow chuckled to herself. I was not amused. I was not sure I could even stand, but regardless of the distance, I was not being carried. I needed to think fast. I took one look at Octavia's unenthused expression and decided no. And wants to stop you from dropping me? Octavius was clearly taken aback. Oh, dare you! I may not be thrilled, but I am not a cad. I was really just grasping at straws here. I didn't want to be carried at all. Maybe I had better luck getting out of it if... What about Aran? At least he seems like it wouldn't kill him. I dare not ask you, Levy. I was glad I'd gotten their names right. Hopefully, by my showing some acknowledgement, it would help them do the same. Maybe this was... Maybe they'd see how unreasonable and horrible an idea this was. What's wrong with him? Oh no. Just never mind. Never mind. Levy began toward the entrance. Come on, Octavius. I leave this to you. Octavius, in all honesty, didn't look as bothered as I'd expected, and he nodded back to Levy dutifully. Aron's overrated face dropped to the floor. Aww. The crestfallen redhead followed behind Levy. Octavius and I both shook our heads. Willow tapped my shoulder. My mind instantly snapped back to the situation. Whatever happens, it will be okay in the end. Thank you. Octavius kneeled down to carry me piggyback style. He didn't say anything, but I could tell he was over-agitated already. This is going to be a long ride. Regardless of the awkward method of travel, I was thankful for the quiet journey to the Great Hall. Most of my time being carried there was spent with me taking in the awe-striking view of the magnificent and alien world around me. Everything from ground to sky was like a magic watercolor painting come to life. Majestic beasts soared the sky. Here and there, little creatures would pop up from the ground in the fields we traveled through, their curious eyes glowing in daylight like neon lights. The air was fresh and still thick, so I took in careful breaths. It was nothing like the city air I was accustomed to. I could also see mysterious-looking towns in the distance, mountains, creeks, and waterfalls flowing into chasms. This was the place of imagination, one far beyond my own. Humbling to take in. We stopped in front of an ivory building jutting out of the mountainside. Octavius stood me up carefully. I thanked him and he nodded and walked off wordlessly. He and Aran walked toward the massive doors to this ivory tower. He opened without prompt. Will you be able to walk a short distance? The main hall is not far. Yeah, I assume we're here. Yes, this is the Great Hall of Council. We will face a hearing for the solution of this debacle. Nice choice of words. I apologize. Your choice of words? I apologize for causing you disruption. I couldn't tell with his deadpan way of speaking if his words were sincere, but they didn't sound malicious either. Well, I'll be forgiven just once this is over, then we can all just be in loving memory. His face noticeably contorted. Hey, before we go in there? Yes? I've been meaning to ask you about your name. His eyes widened. Yes? Why Levy? Shouldn't be pronounced Levi? I may have struck a nerve with the question because Levy's answer was short. Though the latter name is as valid as the former, I prefer the name I was given. I think it is you who does not possess extensive knowledge on names. Levy stood still. His eyes were off in a faraway place. Then quietly he began walking ahead. I followed quietly. The council hall was great indeed, more like a great amphitheater than a hall of any sorts. Hundreds of people gathered. I wasn't even sure if some were creatures I could identify in my deepest imaginations. We four stood in front of the council seats as the members came to greet us. Behind them were several seats likened to thrones. The room was full of natural light and felt as ethereal and ancient as time itself. The tallest of the council members was a dark and mystic-looking man with lavender hair and freckled skin. He walked right up to me and stared at me inquisitively. Didn't say a word. As he did so, one of the other members waved off my accompanying companions. Levy remained. He stepped forward at my side, which pulled the tall man's attention, and his cat-like eyes sliced over to Levy excitedly. Elder Scirocco. Scirocco? I am here before you today with an earthling fawn. It is due to my misconduct and error that she's. Furthermore, it was so that the binding of names has been called forth, and my name was chosen. I must humbly ask that this be rectified on behalf of Faun, that she should not suffer further misfortune. Levy took a deep bow in front of Scirocco. The room echoed a few whispers here or there, but for the most part remained quiet. I don't know what to do or say yet, so I cautiously held my tongue. Scirocco burst out laughing, not a harsh or frightening laugh that I would expect, but just a jovial, gentle laugh. His voice was smooth and rich like a summer evening. He turned back to me and bowed deeply as Levy had done to him only moments ago. I bowed back, not knowing how else to respond. The room bowed with me as it ignited with whispers. Scirocco leaned against his staff and looked directly into my eye. His whole being seemed to smile. Hello, Faun of Sister Earth. I am Scirocco, Elder of the Council of Mist. I could see it. The dark mist is still in your eyes. He nodded, perhaps to himself. The reason for Levy's concern, it would seem that you consumed much darkness upon your journey here. His words were dark, but his voice gentle. Oh, if the council did administer medicine. However, it is beyond my knowledge of how to sever the binding of names so she can return home. Or if I can send Faun to my own accord. For this I apologize. Take responsibility for my actions and consequences that may be bestowed upon me as the council seems. Scirocco burst out laughing again, though his time he didn't budge from his position where his eyes would meet mine. Levy, champion of water and ice, you certainly are. One cannot know which way the wind will blow and not aware of whence it began. He waved off Levy, who obediently joined the other two among the crowd of onlookers. Scirocco then turned to me and took a deep breath. I am aware of your situation, Faun. It is not a simple one. How I came here, or how I get home? Neither. I tried to process that, but could not. Listen, this is too much for me. I need to go home. I'm holding on to a thread of sanity here. If everything I'm going through is real, I'd like to go home and attempt to forget it. Scirocco's smile faded and regarded me with grave thoughtfulness. Is that so? It is an earthling thing to say, even this expected. His words reached me, but they seemed meant more for himself. Faun, child of Sister Earth, I have labored on this since news of your circumstances met my ears. It has been maybe 1,000 years or more since the binding of names has been invoked. This bond which lies between you and Levy, a champion of water and ice, runs deeper than either of you can see. I cannot break such a bond. Thus, I must give verdict to a situation as I was at a loss for words. Or maybe I was in a daze. I didn't think I heard him right. Faun will remain in Mist until a new elder is chosen. The person she is bound to by name and fate is victor of the trials and given the elder title. He alone will have the right and power to send her home. The crowd was as surprised as I at what the lanky giant said as his voice rang out in the hall. I was livid. Surely there was something I could do for myself that would aid my return home. I opened my mouth, but before sound could escape, another voice rang out that was not my own. I, Justice of the Elements of Water and Ice, object this. I shall stand in protest of such a decision. I was trying to see a woman clad in a familiar uniform. She was staring at me with the coldest of stares outside what I'd seen on Wall Street on a Monday morning. She had familiar eyes, snake-like eyes like Levy. I wondered if the elements of water and ice were all similar species. It would be an added disadvantage to our champion's responsibility as well as his focus as a contestant in the trials. Cannot be helped, though it is. She got up and slapped for the way she responded to his last words. She, as well as other council members, solemnly nodded. No more was said. I glared at Scirocco momentarily, his eyes softened as they landed back on me. But then what can I do? I just wait? You can do much. We'll have to learn our ways and adhere to them during your stay here. There was also something else, something to do with the sickness you felt when you first arrived. I cannot speak on it more here. I shall speak to you about it at a later time. The room was beginning to disperse. The council had dismissed everyone, and now it was crowded with attendees attempting to clear out. Justice came storming up to Scirocco. He turned to me, straightening up to his full height, his smile still warmly glowing at me. You'll excuse me? Then he dismissed himself as he took the angry councilwoman's attention elsewhere before it could greet me directly. I stood there in a state of wild uncertainty. The least desirable outcome, putting it mildly. Levy, Octavius, and Arn walked up to me. No one appeared to be too thrilled to be the first one to speak. After the harrowing declaration and judgment from the council they brought me to, the most positive emotion among us was awkwardness. Octavius broke the silence. We are going back to Willow's Tree. I'll ask this only once. Do you need to be carried? Carried? No, what? No. My legs feel just fine, thank you. No matter what, I would not be carried like that again. So, I think I'm going to call it an episode here. This was, I actually really enjoying it. So, if you enjoy it, also, you can download the game right now. Well, it's a demo of the game, but it seems like a decent amount of game here. At least for a demo, anyway. Links in the description below. I'll also link the developer's Twitter so you can follow them, get updates and all that fun jazz. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.